G'day everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach providing SuperCoach content for you. Here to present my team update for the month of February. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of carnage and a lot of different things going on so far in preseason where it's actually hard to figure out a comfortable team, but I've built one. Couple of things I'm iffy on with it, but just sort of the structure I think is more important, just sort of what we're going with here. Just before I get started, so don't skip this part. If you guys don't know, I am taking part in the SuperCoach Sword Play Season Guide of 2025, featuring all your content creators, including myself, where we'll be talking about the flex. We're talking about as you can see in the contents here, what to look for, team structures, the SuperCoach dictionary, trade boost strategy. So, we have the winner of Joven here in 2024 from last year. Abbott's Magic, FTTB. There's me right there, Dr. Supercoach, all your favorite content creators, and just really good people to be involved. I'm writing up the Hawthorn preview. It's digital, we keep it up to date. So thanks to the Supercoach Sword Play crew for setting this up, and it's a massive honor to be a part of it. Now, the reason I told you not to skip this part is I've got a really good um I've got a really good idea for you guys. So I am going to create an SDS SuperCoach SDS Super League 2. And the people that use my code SDS10 with their purchase of the SuperCoach Sword Play Season Guide gets in the league. On Twitter, if you follow me, it's Stephen DW Smith. If you don't, make sure you do. And just obviously don't show me the payment and all that, but show me the proof that you've used SDS10 and you'll get a 10% discount. So that is my deal with you guys. Creating an SDS Super League 2. And if you do use my code SDS10, you get 10% off your order and also be a part of that league. So there is one person that did use my code. So shout out to that man or lady, whoever. But if you please let me know if you have used my code and I'll get in contact with you and we'll get that sorted. So thank you very much for my little promotion there for the guide. It is by far the best tool for anyone to use in SuperCoach this season. Let's get into the team. Now, I don't know about you guys. I hate the back line. I don't know about you guys. First time in a long time where I am really struggling with this line on people to pick and people that I like. I think I've found a rough structure at the minute. I've gone with James Sicily here. Um, just because, I mean, he's a Hawks man. Nah, just kidding. But I do think he will spend most of the time in defense, and he does present value there at 532K. If they do pick Ramsden or Scaife or any of these key forward options early days, because Deer's been ruled out for the start of the season until after gather round, Mitch Lewis is out with an ACL. Then if they go with Ramsden or a Scaife, that gives me more faith of Sicily being in defense. They got Battle, they got Barras because of to free up Sicily. So that's my thought process. Because yeah, I'll be honest, I really don't like many others above that price tag. To quickly go through it, Sheasel, I've gone a bit cold feet on just because of with Wardlaw going down. What is the midfield forward split? I need to see that in pre-season. The price tag isn't exactly amazing either, so that's just my early thoughts there with Sheasel. I believe he averaged 123 on that halfback role, and he averaged 114, something like that, in the midfield. So that's 4 points less than what he's priced at. So that's part of the reason. Sinclair's done a hammy. Houston suspended for round zero, but still, I'd like to see the first game there. Nazar Wanganeen Miller, I guess, would be tempting, but there isn't many avenues to his scoring other than his kicking, and that does concern me because there is an array of different options for his scoring. It's purely based on getting a lot of the ball off halfback. There isn't many other tools to his Supercoach scoring game, which is fine. But if Ari Schoenmaker's there as well, which I assume he would be, then that's some of the kickouts being replaced. Uh, or kicking duties that Nazar Wanganeen Miller would have. If Schoenmaker isn't picked round one, then I feel a lot more content with picking Naz. But for now, I'm just not quite on it. And yeah, just these other guys. McCurch has been on every position on the field in pre-season, and we're going to head down all the way down to 442 to Jaden Short. If he has a clean run in pre-season, then I am very content with picking him. Um, but yeah, I mean, he's before this season, he's had 4 seasons in a row of 95 to 98 average. And he's priced at 82, and that's with Daniel Rioli going. So I don't know. He should be the main distributor, and then it's fair to say in Richmond's side, there'll be a lot of ball down there. So I don't know. And then we got Matty Roberts, who I think will be freed up, and Blakey will be more um, man oh man. So I do think the keys could be unlocked here with Roberts. And I think there's potential of 20 points on this average. Sorry, 20 points on his price tag. So he's priced at 80. I think there's a chance he can do 100. So that's just the early thoughts. I'm really struggling with this back line, though. The next three I'm not struggling with. Callum Mills, I'm hearing all the right things now. That I'm hearing a lot of midfield time, all that good stuff. I was more worried he was going to be wing, um, accountable back type of thing, but now that's changed from what I've heard. And then Travalia, especially with all these Saints injuries, I'd assume he plays, and he's one of the few rookies that I do feel very comfortable with fielding. And then we're going to go with Bo Allen here for the Eagles, who I think will play a back role. Uh, and another rookie that I feel pretty happy with picking. And then on the bench here, we've got Zach Reed. I think he's best 23 when Essendon are fully fit. And if he's fully fit, and he's had a good run in pre-season, similar things to what we heard last year. But um, yeah, look, if he still has a clean run at it up until round zero and round one, and he's not turning out to be the rookie we would like, then we can flip him off at his bye, that sort of thing. And then we got James Leake here due to the Giants' suspensions with some of their depth blokes. I think he could be in line for a round one, round zero debut. 119K utility from Tassie. I like the look of him. As we head into the midfield, we're going to go with Andy Brayshaw, who makes my first appearance into my side in the team updates, just purely because I wanted to go Hayden Young, but he has done a hammy and a minor hamstring, but I had him for most of the year last year, and I saw this story before of him being good, like perfectly fine, but it would be the low time on ground. It would be high 60s, low 70s. It would drive my head nuts. So yeah, that's just I don't know, that's another hamstring for Young when he's dealt with a couple last year. I don't know. I needed a full preseason out of Hayden Young, and we're not getting it. So unless he completely blows my mind in preseason, I can't do it. Gonna go with Connor Rosie for the power. First time he's been in my side as well. Just because he dealt with a lot of injuries last year, and I think Port. I think he's had a good run in preseason. Port have managed him a lot better in preseason than what they did in season last year. And I think he is in line for a better season. Like 529, we know he's better than that price tag. What was he? What's that price? That 98. We know he's capable of 105 to 110, and he can be a buy flip if needed to some of these other big dogs that for the time being, I am not picking. In terms of these top guys, I'm not ruling out. I'm not ruling out Bont. I'm just not ruling out Bont. He's actually in a different iteration of my side about a week ago. Um, it's still in his prime, but it's tough paying that sort of money when I am looking at value. And this side that I've got in at the minute has five rookies on field, so kind of feels like I've sort of built the side around value and then having not as many rookies on field and hope just that the combination of more expensive guys can outperform the top price guys and a few extra rookies on field. So got Will Day here at M3. I think I'll save some of the stuff for the Supercoach season guide because I am doing the Hawthorn team preview and I've written an absolute truck ton for Will Day. Basically, quick summary for Will Day will be is a 491k. He averaged 104 at some point during the at round 20, and then round 21, round 22 got hard tagged, and then which dropped it down to a 96. And then he obviously had that really bad injury against Richmond, so that dropped his average to a 91. I think there's 110 potential with Will Day. I think the forward time could also mean that his time on ground goes up. He was looking at last season with an interrupted preseason. His time on ground was roughly high 70s, low 80s. I think that can get to mid 80s. And I just think there's real good potential. The only problem would be is if the Hockball, Skibbity Sigma, Whip Dab Nene game plan means that day around the ground, maybe not as many touches, but I think they value him enough um, to be giving him the ball a lot more. Clayton Oliver here, this is easy. 451k, have looking a lot better body wise in preseason, and that's great to see. Hasn't had any interruptions, so I'm very content with Oliver there. And he was very likely in my round one team. Adam Chera, 447. He was 600k like this time last year in preseason, and he's had a good run at preseason, no injury problems. So that's all I need to hear with Chera. And I think, especially with Walsh being a bit iffy with his hamstring, of course, I think Chera has got upside on this price tag of 83. I mean, he can do 100. I know he can do 100. We all know he can do 100. And then at M6, we're going to go with James Peatling. All the talk of him potentially being a winger, I'm not buying. Um, I just think one of the main pitching points for Adelaide to recruit James Peatling, who was being chased by six different clubs, would be we'll play in midfield. And I do think that will happen. I think he adds a different dynamic to Adelaide's midfield. So I do have faith in Adelaide persisting with him in the midfield early days. We're going to go with Jagger for the Blues, another bagger in the midfield. There's actually one more in my flex that I'll get to, but 194, 500. He's easily the best target for the draftees of last draft. I think he's going to be an absolute ball magnet. He's got a bit of Sheasel, Dacos, Butters vibe with him in terms of how he moves and how he kicks. I think he'll be a fantastic rookie for us. And he can be a round 12 flip, hopefully. And making his debut into the Smudwire Soldiers as well is Elijah Sardis. I think I've heard enough with certain things. Merrick could be playing halfback in certain stints of the game. Parrish isn't very likely going to play round one due to was it a back injury, I believe. Heard Durham could be more forward, spend more stints forward. I think just enough cracks are opening for Sardis to be a part of that rotation in that round one team, round zero team. I keep getting confused, but yeah, 191, top draft pick. I think what's that price? I think it's 45, is it? Sorry, 39, 39. Yeah, if he can be a part of that midfield rotation, even if it's just like 40%, then I think that's good. I've heard the kicking's improved. He's bulked up. I like it. I like it. Now, I guess one thing we need to be aware of, and I think for any of you guys out there thinking of structure, I do think we need to pay up for the mid bench because I just reckon any of the basement price rookies in the midfield, I reckon are just terrible. I just don't rate them. I reckon the best one is Sardale Hawley, who might not play, and like Max Hall, who's fringe at St Kilda. I'd have a bit of faith if he got picked round one, but yeah, nah. So we've gone O'Driscoll, who I think has potential to be Sharp 2.0. Heard he's going to be on the other wing with Sharp, and I mean he's a very talented player. I've really liked him throughout his career, so I really do like watching him. That's also part of the reason. And then Levi Ashcroft, where jury's out whether we're hearing if he's injured still or not. He had shoulder surgery, but I think there will be a little bit of mixture in the CBAs for Ashcroft, and yeah, I think there'll be a bit of wing, a bit of half forward potential, and I think he's probably talented enough to get into that premiership winning Lions team. And I've got El Hawley in, who really knows if he's gonna be a part of that round zero team, but he's easily one of the best cheap rookies for this season, so I just chucked him in. First time he's entering my side because I'm sick of the crap going on with this ruck line. It is driving my head in. Sorry, it's doing my head in. So we got Cherry, DeConning, and Boyd. Cherry, I think I don't think you're paying for. I don't think there's value here. I think you're going to be paying for what you're getting with Cherry at 119.9. I'm expecting a very similar average for 2025, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this ruck line. Like Darcy was my backup plan. He gets potentially ruled out for round one. I don't mind English, but he's dealing with that injury and he's on a modified program. I think I forgot what his injury was, but still, he's an absolute stick. So sometimes his body's just going to let him down with certain physical things in the ruck. So that's unfortunate with Tim English. I'm not going to rule it out at this stage, though. Then Matty Flynn, we're just hearing these little niggles and barely beating out Bailey Williams for that number one ruck spot, which usually means your spot in the side's pretty much in jeopardy. I will take Cherry out if I do find a ruck that I'm pretty content with because I'm not in love with Cherry, but I guess I am a believer in trying to avoid ruck trades. So that would certainly help that problem. But I just think with the 40 trades now and the flex and all these things have changed now in the Supercoach game than ever before, where we're sort of looking so much at value now, and not as much towards the guns and rookies game plan, where we're looking to get more bodies, more reliable bodies on field than extra rookies. So yeah, he could easily be changed out. I've just gone with him for now because the other options are just not there at the minute. So I think Cherry and DeConning at this stage. DeConning, I know about the Pitanet interview on Channel 7. Sorry, I'm just looking at my team on the screen here, but so I can type it in. But I know Pitanet said he's going to play next to DeConning, plan on playing to play with DeConning, but I, I don't know. He's not going to say he's going to be a VFL ruck, is he? So DeConning is one of the easiest picks for me in my team. If Pitanet is picked in round one, then I'll take him out. But DeConning will be in my team for until the last 24 hours until team selection. We get to see what's going on with that. I do think they will play him solo ruck, with Mackay and Curnow. Doesn't make sense to then add Pitternet, but and Carlton are a much better side when it's just him solo rucking. So I don't know. And then Boyd sounds like he'll play, so that's cool. Then the forward line's actually one of the easier ones, if anything, which is very rare. So we've got Horn Francis. I think, I mean, look, I'm not going to be right on everything. I had a 9K rank last year. I had a stinky sort of season. So, but I just wonder if people are overthinking the Horn Francis pick. I don't think there's risk of regression at that price. It's 537. That's a good price to pay. We know he's going to be a top six forward. We know that we're hearing that he could even play even more midfield time. And he's a great player to watch. I am very happy with picking him, and I haven't heard any injury concerns. Jack McRae, yep, lock it in. He'll play midfield for the Saints. That is easy. I don't think the ceiling's extremely high, but I think it's high enough to where he'll play better than what he's priced at. Bailey Smith, we're hearing things about time on ground. That's fine. Even if it's 75, 80%, he should still very much get a good run in the CBAs and be a full-time midfielder and outdo his price. So that is fine with me. I've got Riley Sanders in. This could easily be swapped with Parker. Once again, I'll reiterate, I need to see this North Melbourne mid-forward rotation of Simpkin, Parker, Sheasel, Powell. I just need to see what the mix looks like. And we might get an answer in the practice game. So yeah, for now we're going to go with Sanders because I think his potential as a Supercoach pick is outstanding. It's just more the Bevo factor, and he moves really well. I don't know. I just really want to pick Sanders, and I just hope that Luke Beveridge can do him a good service in picking him in round one and in the guts. Caleb Daniel, 269K, one of the main distributors off halfback for North Melbourne. We know how the story goes with the North Melbourne um, accumulators in defence. They turn out extremely well. So yeah, I've got helmet in. And then Hewitt, I heard today as well. I think her name's Ashley Nelson. Shout out to her on Twitter, where she's doing a lot of West Coast Eagles and reports and that sort of thing. And he was doing midfield drills, Elijah Hewitt, and I do think he's one of the more experienced bodies for bargain basement rookies. So I think he will get a good run at it in the midfield throughout the season and ideally early. Joe Berry, I love this. I love this bloke. 140K. I think there's a higher ceiling to his scoring than Isaac Kako, just due to the fact he's more your Dylan Moore type, where he can push up onto half forward and just accumulate the ball a bit better. Now the job security is more at risk with Berry here than Kako. Kako will play every game this season. Berry, he can pull the trigger finger pretty quickly. Ken Hinkley last season for Ken Hinkley, so shout out to him. But he can get a bit triggery with some of these rookies. But at the same time, if they put in effort and they look good, then he gives them a long leash. So good. And we're going to go Davidson here, who looks to be the Ugle Hagen replacement at this stage. I personally don't think we're not going to see Ugle Hagen potentially even until the second half of the season. And as a mature ager, yeah, I'm not in love with a lot of the cheap rookies, but Davidson looks good, and I think there's a bit of Fergus Green vibes about him as a rookie, so I'm happy with that. And we're going to add Scoops into the mix here. That's not how you spell it. How do you spell Hollands? Ollie Hollands. Yep, we're chucking Scoops in. Ollie Hollands, 333K, midfielder. He's playing off halfback. He's looking to be one of the main distributors. So that sounds good. His kicking's a little bit, but I think the role, from what I've heard, is good enough for that price tag, and I'm happy to pay that. This leaves me with 2,500 in the bank. I do really like Peatling and Hollands, and some people with certain structures will be looking at choose between one of the two, and I do prefer Peatling, but I think I'm happy enough to have both in the team. So Scoops is my flex, and yeah, that is the side. In terms of any iterations I could do, I mean, ugh, gee, yikes. I don't know if English looks good in if he can play some of the practice games, that'd be great. Uh, that'd raise a bit of the money. If I wanted to get Bontempelli, which I'm not ruling out because I love the Bont, you could go Sanders down, get the Bont in, boom, and then 254K. You could look at a Marich or a Garcia. I think for now Garcia would be good, but um, he's actually one of the Saints kids that I do rate. Um, I do rate Hugo Garcia. But it doesn't matter what we think on certain players. It's what matters is what the coach thinks of these players. So I do think he should be spending time in the midfield, but that's not my call to make. It's Ross Lyon's call to make. And if I see Zach Jones in the midfield rotation ahead of him come round one, I may spew up. But yeah, I just think he does have a lot of potential to um, replace Filippo and get a little bit of a 40% CBA mix there. I know a couple of Saints fans, Saints mates that I know that think he should be playing in the midfield early days. I do rate Hugo Garcia, it's just whether you want to do it. And then, those are the sort of changes you need to make for me to fit Bont in, which does take a lot of effort because, you prefer Sanders, you prefer Tristan Cherry ahead of English. You prefer Sanders and Parker over Garcia as picks, but unfortunately we haven't got an unlimited budget. But Bont's a massive upgrade over Rosie, but Rosie does present value. So yeah, that's the team. Um, yeah, look, I'll wrap things up there. Just a quick reminder, it would be an absolute pleasure for anyone to purchase the SuperCoach Sword Play Season Guide. It's selling really well, so full credit to DR and Spills and Jonathan Roscoe. One thing I didn't mention about using, because all of us content creators have got specific codes to use, and whoever gets the most sales with their code, they get a prize for their subscribers. So, um, whoever wins the league, whoever wins the league, the SDS Super League 2, the people that use my code and all that can get that prize. So that's sort of what I'm thinking early days. But remember, SDS 10, get 10% off your order. So it'd go down to $18. $20 for definitely the best tool for your Supercoach season. I think that sounds like a pretty good deal. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate all the support. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, as we are really getting close. Under 30 days now until our teams are locked in. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Couple of collabs coming up soon. Catch ya. Have a good